Yeah, and that was actually something we didn't really talk about here. The seeding actually between these two teams. Reborn actually being seeded third and TLR being seeded seventh. So there's a little bit of a, I wouldn't say disparity between them. It's not major. If we actually look over at the point standings, TLR and Reborn had a point difference of like, oh, but I can't do math this well. Let's say 140. Actually, I think it's
That's
exactly
exactly
right,
correct.
so. Yes. But it's so I mean that's a couple tournaments, and TLR didn't play in a couple tournaments. So realistically, there's a lot of closeness between these two teams as we actually kind of break it down over the last 7 weeks of the Open Division cups. And this is just gonna be good because we're either gonna see a strong resurgence coming out from TLR in this game where they're just like, all right, we'll take game one in stride. They played aggressive into us. Maybe we play a little bit slower, or maybe we play even more aggressive into them. Maybe they play harder into that. Maybe the Hanzo wasn't exactly what they needed for that kind of finishing damage on top of Genji. Maybe they needed to go to that double reset position. I'm not sure. I'm not the pro player here, but I don't know. What do you kind of think that either TLR needs to adjust from game one to game two here to really kind of even out the playing field?
I think they just kind of need to play a little bit more to the aggression of their composition.
Okay.
Unfortunately, kind of letting Reborn narrate how that map went, not utilizing the offensive prowess that Genji with a Diablo really can bring. And this is the downfall of the Shuriken build. A lot of your power goes into your Shurikens, which take a little bit more time to get off instead of the quick of the dash that Genji has. And I think he wasn't able to put out as much damage fast enough to really capitalize on the kills. Lifebinder, as well as like the dragon and her double healing spells, just doing so much work to keep people topped off. And then that one time he did slide in, he didn't do quite enough damage and didn't quite hit it. And that's where when his power isn't there, that's where he struggles, in my opinion. So they need to kind of straighten that out.
Adjustments, yeah. No, I agree with all the adjustments that you're making here. I think that the burst that they were expecting to have wasn't achieved, and unfortunately, because you saw they had a lot of good setups, those dragon arrows connected so many times, but there was once I think when they actually got 2 kills off of it. After that, they still made clean disengagements from every dragon arrow setup or any kind of dive. You noted it perfectly. Sundering was a great kind of pause, disengage, let's regroup tool, as well as even splitting the team and really picking up members apart on the side of TLR.
And one other thing, I mean, X gonna give it to you, man. They didn't go that X blade, and I think that is a big mistake when you're dealing with that Sundering and the Purification salvo. It's just like it's an extra invulnerability while also being a very high piece of damage output. But we are in game 2. We're on Battlefield of Eternity. The draft's coming out. We do see the side of TLR banning Diablo, with Reborn going for the Maiev and Iriel ban.
Do they risk not banning Hanzo here? Ooh, I think this is super risky in my opinion.
Yeah, a little bit of a respect ban towards the Mist. He had a really good game of Phoenix. Not wanting him to keep up his hot streak with that hero. But we already know that Mist does like the Hanzo, so this could definitely be the first pickup.
It's a toss-up, though.
But it is Kayn available.
Yes, I was just about to say. You took the words right out of my mouth. It's do we pick up Hanzo and have the burst onto the Immortal and the shrine, not the shrine, the Immortal phase, burn, or do we have Deckard Kayn, notably a very, very strong healer as well as highly prioritized healer, and that's exactly it. They go ahead and they pick up this Deckard. I wouldn't be too surprised to see TLR grab that Hanzo at this point once again, and realistically, I would actually choose maybe getting. Okay, not what I was expecting, actually. I was actually thinking they might prioritize a tank in this situation for the first with the Hanzo, just to make sure that they have some protection early, but Whitemane coming into game number 2 here.
Yeah, favoring that kind of weaker backline, but definitely a little bit more poke. We haven't seen Reborn pick up the Garrosh. It's been banned every single game.
Oh,
this is their opportunity to pick it up. Very good hero on this map.
Absolutely, a brawly type map. This is perfect, and you called it exactly. And with a Li Ming, That's a strong draft from Reborne, I gotta say at the start here. Not to say that Hanzo Whitemane isn't strong, but that's a really great core. And realistically here, you either ban things you know will burn down the Immortal, or you ban out things in the solo lane that you don't want to go up against. Oftentimes, I've actually seen Artanis bans here because Artanis is notably good in the solo lane on this map and very good in the Immortal phase. But we'll have to find out here.
Not only is he very good with his recent buffs and changes, I believe 1 patch ago, he's a little bit more he's even more viable. This being his best map, I would not be surprised if we saw him the God swap into a Garrosh taunt or a Garrosh stun taunt combo.
Yeah.
When you have that squishy Hanzo or Whitemane available, sounds terrifying. Not only that, he fills the role of a solo lane as well as a race hero. So I think he'd be a very strong pickup here. And actually, we see the Blaze ban, which is excellent because that takes away Whitemane and Hanzo's escape through bunker.
And the other thing too is I at least the way that the games that I've cast in the past, the current draft from Reborn really screams that's the direction they're going. That's kind of what I've seen in the past, but that's just making just making connections. We still need a tank, a solo laner, as well as some more damage for the members of TLR. So they'll go ahead and pick up the Muradin and the Dahaka for the solo lane. They want that ability to get in some flank positions. They also want the Muradin aggression. But the really big thing here that I question is if they're going to be able to stay within Whitemane's range. Because if they're going to be diving forward and moving around here, like Hanzo has an out, Muradin has an out, Dahaka kind of has an out, you might be leaving your Whitemane all alone, and she might be the target at that point. I'm curious to see how they're going to play with their mobility and Whitemane's just kind of in her healing range, as we will get a Sonya for the solo lane and a Tychus to burn down these 2 tanks.
Yeah, definitely a really strong pick here. Even if Whitemane goes to Scarlet Aegis, the percent damage of his minigun, ignoring the armor. So when you have Dahaka and Muradin, who are both high health tanks, the Tychus is going to do a lot of work. Set up the Li Ming, get them low, set up the Li Ming, get her resets going. And the Sonya just provides that little bit of extra setup and stun security.
I'm 50-50 on this Jaina, to be honest. I'm going to be, if I'm 100% being honest in this situation, I don't know how I feel the Jaina really works with their composition. I feel like they've got good range poke from Hanzo, but I don't know.
So the number one reason I think we see it is because of the Garrosh pick. When Garrosh is permanently slowed and he has no gap closer, forcing him to use his unstoppable to kind of engage takes it away from when he's trying to get away. And at that point, he's slowed for like a Dahaka or a Muradin pick. Not to mention, Jaina just provides a ton of bursts. So it'll be up to Decker to kind of save someone's life. And unfortunately, his heal is not instant. It takes a little bit of time for him to throw a potion. He's an old man, for Christ's sake.
That's true. I mean, he gets a little tired sometimes from just throwing things out. The only reason I was thinking that was like the Jaina's a little weird. I was like, I felt like Greymane might have been a stronger pick into their composition if they wanted a little bit more race, a little bit more dive with the Muradin and Dahaka. But let's go ahead and find out as we get into game number 2. Reborn up 1 game, trying to close out this best of 3 series and stay in the playoffs. We have Showtime going to be on the Sonya here. We'll be having, and I believe I'm on the wrong camera. There. Oh, nope. There we go. Well, it's moving around quite quickly here as I do not think I'm the right one. But either way, on the left, we'll have Winterheart on the Tychus. Tenny going to be on the Garrosh. We'll have Mist on the Li Ming. Sonya going to be playing Showtime, and Valmar will be on the Decker Kane.
Yes, and on the red side, we do have TLR. That's on Muradin. Free PX on Hanzo. Jeb Taco Bados on Jaina, and Legacy on Whitemane, and plus Ultra on Dahaka. Fat's actually getting a little bit sniffed out there. The slow hitting him. He's just going to walk away, though. Garrosh not going to waste a combo on him. Early in the game, do you pick up a kill? Needs to scale up a little bit with the Tychus and the Li Ming. But they are able to clear the wave significantly faster right now than the Jaina and Hanzo. Muradin, of course, just securing this top bush, making sure he's able to sit there. And then in the top lane, plus Ultra just kind of chilling. It is not a win-loss kind of thing. And Sonya and Dahaka both have fantastic regen.
Yeah, the sustain between both of them as well as the damage output is great. We actually have Sonya going into the Fears Blow at level 1, not going into that War Paint, so not looking for that extra sustain or the block or anything. Really just looking for, well, just more damage in this situation. I actually really like it. But we currently just have Soak playing safe, no one really going out too far, as Plus Ultra going to be taking a bit of damage from Showtime. If they can step, oh, the dodge from the spear, that was really, really great by the Dahaka right there, as we once again in bottom lane just continue to soak up and play a little bit of the safe game. We have another minute and 30 before we have the first Immortal phase popping up.
Yeah, and Fat's going in, taking a lot of damage. Gonna go ahead and walk away. The bottom siege camp, though, is being contested right now. So Tenny actually trying to move in. He's already at half HP. Decker needs to throw some healing potions at him. He's gonna get combo bursted. Fat's now on the spot, still full health. Pulse Ultra actually moving down. Gonna forfeit this top wave now. Sorry, the top camp now as well, while Showtime gets onto that. Winterheart moving up, trying to slow him down. Really unfortunate. That's the punishment of the Jaina. Like I said, she slows him down. He doesn't have the Unstoppable yet at level 4. And then when he goes in, he's already taken half his HP. Yes, he has the armor, but he does not have the health pool to back it up in this early game.
They'll be going ahead and using that that toss there just to burn down this camp a little bit quicker, as we will have Fats scouting out this bush up here. We do have the 2 tanks in top, as Legacy will be just waiting for this Bruiser camp. Going to go ahead and start that out at this time. We'll see. I guess Whitemane's going to solo this camp for the next 10 minutes. No, they'll have help from the Hanzo here, who did go into the Scatter Arrow build, so going to have that burn onto the camp a little bit quickly there. But at the same time, Reborne grabbing this camp as well. Going to have some pressure into the bottom lane. See how that is going to be adjusted to, as the Immortals will be spawning here in 7 seconds. Lanes are fairly even, experience fairly even. No deaths. Actually, excuse me, just 1 kill so far in favor for the members of TLR.
Yeah, and Showtime actually going all in on the Seismic Slam talents, working up that level 4 talent. Hanzo running away from Garrosh, a little afraid. That is a very deadly combo should he ever get flipped. Showtime, however, up here trying to clear out this top wave, make sure he doesn't get much value. Winterheart, though, getting a lot of tower damage down. Jaina, though, there, ready to blizzard the camp, get it down. Meanwhile, Sony is still contesting against Plus Ultra, and no one quite working on it. Li Ming just kind of throwing orbs and missiles in there.
And Li Ming slowly chunking this down, doing exactly what Li Ming does great on this map, which is poke at the Immortal. And, you know, full range missiles, full range orbs, those get a lot of value into this, as Dahaka is going to be burrowing at this time into the backline of Winterheart and Valimar. We'll see if they're able to get the tongue drag or any sort of setup here, as we currently have Tenny so low. They go ahead and get some healing out from Decker Kane, but it won't be enough in this situation, as they move on to Valimar. The old man is being targeted. The stun comes out, and unfortunately, Decker Kane, while very, very strong in healing, if they're stunned, can't do too much. But meanwhile, Mist went ahead and got this first Immortal phase in their favor, but they turn and get the pick onto them. 3 picks during this Immortal phase, and they are able to easily burn this down as they zone this away with Legacy, Fats, and Plus Ultra.
Yeah, I don't think the communication was there for Reborne on what they actually wanted to do. Garrosh stepping forward, kind of zoning them out, but stepping too far away from the Immortal. Not taking the advantage that Mist enabled them, the first one, and actually trying to force something that didn't need to happen. Plus Ultra now, walking forward. Gonna go ahead and just burrow, avoiding the flip. But this is going to be a Punisher in the favor of TLR. And it's at a half health shield. Not very strong, though. It is only 5 minutes in, so but it does have a significant impact on the flow of the game.
That is absolutely true. I mean, even then, I mean, yes, it is very early, but if your team can get a couple picks while this is happening, you can go beyond just getting a gate. You could look for a fort, maybe a little bit of damage into the keep front gate. I've seen it go that far, but we've got some siege coming in at this time. The shielding has dropped from the Immortal, and it does move into the melee ranges. They are pushing into this quite hard. Just noting really quickly, we do have the 2 solo laners in bottom lane, as Tenny looking for the toss, going to be going out onto a minion. Unstoppable being used as well. Gonna tap the well to stay alive. Gonna get some healing up from Decker. The Punisher has ended, and they go ahead and they want to get a chase on this. Fats might be getting caught out as Mist steps up, getting the blink into them. 3PX getting some poke damage on them. Winterheart, a little bit of a bad spot. Gonna have to back off as they get the toss onto Fats. Going to go ahead and get the dwarf toss right out of there. poke damage coming out from this, not connecting, and so they make it out of there with a lot of good experience, not losing a single kill in favor for TLR.
Yeah, gotta be on the lookout for these fights. Tenny actually willing to step past the Murden instead of just looking at the Murden. This is a pre-10 Murden. I think it'd be worth their time to try and burn him down, or at least force him to use his escape, instead of just running through him to get to a Jaina. Like I said, having to use the Unstoppable to pass through the slow is very difficult for Garrosh.
They continue to hold this top lane. I'm waiting with like a little bit of breath of who's going to be stepping too far forward, as Fats is actually stepping into Tenny, and you just exactly going off what you just said, stepping into Tenny and just being like, flip me, burn your flip onto me. I am Murden. I can just dwarf toss right out of here. No big deal. And they're saving that cooldown. Meanwhile, though, bottom lane Showtime will be going ahead and grabbing this camp to push into bottom. Dahaka not gonna be noticing it, I don't think, or maybe actually now. But the thing is, Winterheart's here. They do have that burn. We're gonna see if they're able to make the connection of them, as Pulse Ultra will pop that essence. They go ahead and start to move their way on the opposite side, just trying to body block them. The tongue drag will go out. Pulse Ultra leaves this camp, but makes it out with their life, as 10s are on the cusp for TLR, not willing to stagger death at this time, as the Immortals will also be popping up in the next 5 seconds.
I do want to point out, this is Murden with all race talents at 4 and 7. Damage at 1, Sledgehammer at 4, and Skullcracker, which I actually think is a very good talent against the Sonya. The kind of randomized stun on the third attack, quickly stunning out the Whirlwind to prevent her from healing. This should be level 10s though for the side of TLR. We're going to see Scarlet Aegis, Water Elemental, Dragon's Arrow, Isolation, with Murden holding his ultimate. This could be the Haymaker Playmaker. Do it.
Just do it.
Do it.
That's all I gotta say to it. Just do it. I dare you, TLR. Make that engagement happen. Get that isolation to a single target, and then have the blow up go out onto them. The possibilities there. The other thing too, you noted it. Water Elemental, a great tool on a map like this to add another member to the fight. But Fats is gonna go ahead and get tossed out. No follow-up burn onto them. Just a little bit of poke damage, but they get the Zeal from Whitemane, and they'll be able to make it out of here with some health over time. And this is still just a delayed out Immortal phase, as FreePX will be trying to poke in on this. No fight just yet breaking out. They are starting to back off, though, on the side of TLR. They're a little, I think, wary of this fight now that 10s have been achieved for Reborne.
Yeah, and Showtime did pop his Wrath when he's ran into Fats. That's a 40-second cooldown. He was not able to keep it up, so that's a very big deal. Garrosh needs to find that flip combo. Actually, getting him in the stun. The taunt is going to come out. Nope, not a hit. Too late, does get stunned out of it. Does hit the Whitemane though, interrupting all of her heals. He's getting healed, but Tenny is walking away. That's a 1 for none. Reborne though, looking for more. Plus Ultra trying to get that silence, isn't going to hit it. The Scroll of Sealing not able to capitalize. The Unstoppable though on a FreePX, he is going to go and walk away. This is still in the favor of Park. There's still only a quarter HP left on the blue side of World, and they only lost 1 unit. When he's going to be up in time.
I gotta say, just shout out to Valimar with the quick use of the Emerald on the Haragic Cube just to deny the healing onto the Murden at that point, who had been isolated, as well as the toss from Tenny onto that stun was perfect, but they currently move their way up onto Winterheart, taking a lot of damage, going to back off. They currently have Fats in a little bit of a bad spot. They denied actually the Dwarf Toss away. They get the root onto Legacy, not in the best spot for a Whitemane here, as the taunt goes out as well. They get 1 pick, 2 picks, and that is going to be a great fight for the members of Reborne. FreePX is actually going to push. Oh, they're able to sneak by it. I think they should be able to get out of there just fine. But the thing is, that is going to be Immortal in favor. Oh no, they're going to try and race this actually. Yeah,
and the Water Elemental doing a ton of damage to Tenny. He's using the Unstoppable now. He's going to go in and run out of Jaina. But the Dahaka actually doing work, trying to get up. The Dragon's Arrow interrupting the Tychus. They barely sneak out the Immortal for the side of Reborne. They get the 2 kills on Jaina and Dahaka. FreePX falling low as well. Going to go ahead and walk away. That was insane. 13 health, 1 auto attack, 1 hit for the W for Dahaka. That was the closest Immortal I've ever seen.
I to be honest, I've never seen it be double digits like that. I think triple digits was the most I ever saw. I've never, oh my god, that is absolutely insane. But we actually have Winterheart going to go ahead and drop the Commandeer Odin. He's starting to work their way with I actually love the use of this ability here. You can use it as a siege and the anti-siege tool, and they're going to siege in with it at this time, and they want to take, I think, a little bit more than the fort here, as they're going to achieve 13s off of this, and they can maybe even play harder. But the thing is, the current Immortal is lower than 25% here, so they're not going to get too much more with this, as the Commandeer Odin does just end.
I think someone needs to do the math for me, but I think this is the only time I'd ever be able to use this unit measurement. That Immortal was less than an Abathur slap away from being the enemy teams.
I think you're absolutely right. Like, that is the lowest auto attack based hero in this game, even though they are a melee specialist. Just gonna point that out. So we're currently gonna have this fort in bottom lane gonna be falling, as well as the fort in top. They secure 13s off of this, and they've got great map control at this point. You have Sonya in the bottom lane with Tyke. It's gonna be confirming the camp down there. I wouldn't be too surprised to see a hard rotation to the top, grab that pressure up there as well. This is a great game for Reborne at this time. It's just, we got to see the members of TLR get some aggression. They've got to get a good fight. They've got to do exactly what you noted in draft. They've got to separate Tendi from, utilizing the unstoppable. They just start walking in here. They get the stun as well. The Lornado comes out. The taunt is onto a couple members, and they haven't secured this point just yet. They actually do, but they start to burn down Garrosh, and this is the fight that they needed on the side of TLR, Dunkstik.
Yeah, unfortunately, the Scarlet Aegis came out. All the heals came out on the side of Whitemane. Dahaka actually digging in. Oh, barely misses Showtime. The combo not hitting from PPX, not able to get the kill. Mist trying to pick him up with his spots. Plus also the bat to get his speed boost. Gonna run at him. Does have the range on his Stacker Kane actually following in the background. Mist trying to get his cooldown back up. Gonna go ahead and fall. That is a 3 for none on a Reborne invade.
That's the fight they needed. That was exactly it. They got this top lane pressure. Now there's going to be 13 seconds on the Immortal, plus Ultra can clear out bottom lane. They've got 2 members coming back, the Decker Kane and the Li Ming, and they've got a few seconds, so they've got a really great opportunity to set themselves up in a great position on the side of TLR and get the first phase of this Immortal burned down. They're trying to get some map pressure, but they've got to move quick on the side of TLR if they want to get any sort of value during that 3-member kill there.
Yeah, and the members of Reborn are coming up right now. TLR just poking in, trying to get as much poke damage as possible. Note, Jaina actually going the Q talents at 1 and 7, not at 4, which is the piercing, which would allow her to be able to hit the Immortal through the Garrosh.
Yeah, and that's actually... I mean, I can understand Arcane Intellect. I mean, that is return mana and everything is great and some of the basic attacks, but at the same time, that Pierce is so strong, as well as being able to spread that cold throughout many members to get more burst damage from your Cone of Cold as well as from your Blizzard. But they back off at this time. They haven't triggered the halfway point in this. Mist is going to be continuing to poke in. Tenny going to be looking for maybe that flip onto someone who steps a little too far forward and just bodying damage. Valmar just continues to just heal them up with potions, and this is exactly what they do well on the side of Reborne.
And look at Plus Ultra. He's going for the flank. Mist doesn't see him. He's waiting for Mist to go up a little bit more so he can run from bush to bush. Mist, though, not falling for it. He's going to go ahead and walk up. This is Plus Ultra's chance. He can get to that bush. Not going to run at it. Garrosh sitting in the bush now. Going to go ahead and just clear that bottom wave.
Yeah. Just they leave the lane. I think they're going to get this over. They see the members in bottom lane. They see that it's 2 on that camp, so they just step right up onto this. They say, we've got the burn. You don't have enough for this fight. They continue to poke out with the scatter arrow from Free PX, but it's not going to be enough, as this will be, I think, a north and south Immortal. Yeah.
How do you know that's not north and or what? How do you know which one's north and which one's south?
Because it's up and down. As we do get a burrow out from Plus Ultra, trying to get some damage out of these members. There is going to be the gem coming out from Deckard to go ahead and get the reduced healing, but Tenny in a little bit of a bad spot. The Lornado to separate them, Dunkstik, and we do have Showtime falling in top lane. No death on the opposing team yet.
Yeah, and Fats is going to do a ton of damage here, Winterheart. Just going to poke him off. Not quite able to get in there. Plus Ultra actually looking up, not able to get stunned. The knockback going out and disenabling Fats getting that stun. Tenny doing what he can down here. Unfortunately, he's just a little too slow. The Murden, though, is here now. The root coming out from the Whitemane. The stun from the Immortal. Sorry, no, the Immortal doesn't stun him. I am totally wrong on that. But he's not going to be able to pick up anything. He's just going to fall there.
That will be, I think, the first Immortal in favor for TLR, and it's going to be going bottom lane. And it's decently fortified, but the one thing to note here, this is a 15-minute Immortal. It scales up quite a bit. It's going to be doing a lot of great siege damage. It does have a decent amount of shielding, looking at about like 33% on that. So it will attack from range for a bit. And the other big factor in the situation, there's no Garrosh available. There's no tank. If they can burn through this, they can step up and be extremely aggressive with their 16 talent tier advantage on the side of TLR, Dunkstik.
Yeah, and really big thing to note, they don't have a way of hitting past the minion wave. Mist has to clear it. Winterheart can't step that far forward to go SQ. The dragons are coming out. The stun coming through. The Lord Nado though, the unstoppable with the flip coming out. Winterheart though falling awful low. The elemental not able to quite capitalize on it. But that is so many ultimates down now for the side of TLR. This Immortal still has half HP.
Look at Showtime in the backline, though. They're looking for a big flank onto this. They get the toss away. Tenny is looking to just make the disengage. A lot of members are grouped up. UPX is going to be the first one to fall in this situation. They also drop the Scarlet Aegis to just stay alive with that armor, but it is going to be ending now. They do confirm the keep in top lane, but they might be sacrificing their entire team as Fats has that Avatar farm. We actually have Plus Ultra, I think, sacrificing themselves to make sure that the rest of the team gets out. 2 for none trade, but the thing is they do get a keep, so I don't... At this early in the game, I think it was kind of worth it, to be honest. Unless they lose their top lane keep or something, this was a great play from TLR.
Yeah, it's a full level swing. They take the keep, which means there's going to have catapults moving down this bottom lane, and they have the global. They do not need to worry about keeping the lanes pushed in or competing over the point because they have the ability to run around with a 4-man and a 1-man out. It's really going to be on the side of Reborne for them to try and either take a very fast fight, which is very capable when they have Li Ming, and especially with a full damage Sonya like she is. I don't even... What? Sonya died to the vert camp. It's not looking good for Reborne.
I don't know what's, to be honest, it seems, oh, the burrow is going to be coming out from the Dahak at this point. They actually get the knockback. That will be the toss going away, but the thing is they still get the pick onto Tychus, looking to move a little bit further forward. The Lord Nado is actually going to push them further as Fats is looking to get onto the Garrosh. They go ahead and get Scarlet Aegis out. A lot of damage coming out from Mist, but it's not going to be enough as this is going to be 17-19. 3 deaths on the side of Reborne, and they have catapult pressure with siege pressure in bottom here. This is, you said it right. I mean, this is looking odd, honestly, for Reborne. Coming out from their first game to play into this, it seems like at points their hands are off the wheel or the communication is lax. I don't know, Dunkstik. It's not the same team from game 1 to game 2, as we are going to be having this Immortal phase very much in favor for TLR.
Somebody needs to get the trauma kit to stop the bleeding. Reborne loses 1, then loses 2. The staggered deaths. First to clear these waves instead of being able to posture and do some damage to Immortal. That's already the halftime being played, and they're already set up to burn this Immortal. With a Hanzo and Scatter Arrow, it's ridiculously fast. Already half of the half dead. It's closing in on the 0. Not even half health done by the side of Reborn. And they managed to grab the camp right beforehand. This is going to be
really good, yeah.
Yeah, that's an Immortal camp with a never-ending minion camp. I just talked about how awful it is for Li Ming to try and clear when there's a camp right there. And actually, good move on Reborn to go ahead and clear this out beforehand, knowing that Immortal hasn't quite spawned and getting that dead.
That is, yeah, you noted the fact that it's impossible for Mist to get that damage out because the minions will consistently be in the wave of the big burst from the orb and missiles. So now taking out that camp right away, one, it reduces the Infinity minion wave pushing in there, but the Hanzo with the Dragon Arrow will be just in between them. Currently going to be having a lot of a fight breaking out, but no one really getting caught out. They actually is going to have to toss on to Fats here. We're going to pop the Avatar getting over the wall. That will be Garrosh being exploded so quickly I didn't even see their health bar really go anywhere. And that will be this Immortal working their way up this top lane in Dunkstik. This could potentially be game-ending if they get another pick onto this Deckard.
Yeah, still half HP left on the Immortal. They do have the Siege of the Thor to knock it down, as well as the Magic Missiles and the Orbs. Plus Ultra actually taking a lot of damage, but he definitely has the kind of regen to stay alive. 3-man Scroll actually doing a ton of damage to the side of TLR. But this is a 20-minute Immortal on the core. The Scarlet Aegis comes out, the 40 armor. The core is already at 90 HP. Li Ming trying to do what she can, being zoned out just a little bit. Murd just jumping around. 28%. There's the first kill. There's the first reset. Li Ming trying to do what she can. Unable to burn out 1%. GG. TLR taking game number 2.
they even up this series and take us to a game 3 in this lower bracket. And we have hit on the importance of this matchup here, and just even these matches in general. At this point on this channel, we're going to be casting the lower bracket matches this evening, and this means your tournament life is on the line, and neither of these teams want to let that go just yet. So TLR going to even up this best of 3 series, and it's going to be 1-1 at this point. Dunkstick, I don't know who is going to be really coming out in game number 2 and taking the cake on this, because I thought that Reborne in the first match the first game played extremely well, but game 2 it was honestly a different team, and TLR almost like we didn't even notice them switching sides or something. It's just the communication from TLR was so much more on point, and they were able to get a lot of great picks and stagger a lot of great deaths and just push in and hold this map very well. I gotta say, hats off to TLR game number 2, and I can only hope to expect something even better than game 3.